Hi, everybody. My name is Vincent Meza. This is Listings to Leads. And today we're going to talk about Facebook and Google ads and what you can do there and what kind of leads you can get there. Before we dive into that, I just want to give you a high level view of what to think about our platform. We're a real estate marketing platform for realtors. We have a lot of tools for agents if you have listings, and we have tools for you if you don't have listings. And whether you want to talk to more buyers or more sellers, we've got a lot of tools to help you there, right? Some you can use in print, some you can use on social media, some you can use online, some you can even blast out on your CRMs. But all of these things have multiple call to actions, multiple ways of capturing either buyer or seller contact information. And so as you get into the system, you'll notice, let's go ahead and have a quick look. We've got listing automation, lots of ways to capture leads there. We've got 80 PDF guides, 40 for buyers, 40 for sellers, lots of ways to get leads there. We've got social content, which actually is just automated, colorful real estate related content for your social media networks. You should be turning that on. You've got landing pages, either for buyers or for sellers. And those are great in terms of running ads to get people there as well. And then we got client review website, which is super cool. If you're new to us, I do want to point out we do have some playbooks here. I think a lot of us need visual reminders. Like I know I need a visual reminder. Like I've got to get this thing back to Amazon. It's sitting at my front door, right? It's reminding me, hey, I got to get that back, right? If you're that kind of person, you should view and download some of these playbooks. If you want sellers, a lot of you said you want sellers, you should get this one here, number 2 and number 4, and just have it on your desk as a reminder of here are the things I need to do if I want more sellers, right? Today's class is on Facebook and Google, and that's definitely, those are going to be mentioned on both of those playbooks. But let's go over here. I asked a question of what are we looking for? What are you as agents looking for? And Sandy says, I'm looking for sellers, but all I'm doing is getting buyers, right? And then everybody here is kind of mixed. Some people want both. Some people want buyers. Some people want sellers. So let's tackle the easy part first, right? Let's just say, what do we have here, right? What do we have with listings to leads and what can we do? If we go to ads, if you come here for the first time, it's going to ask you to connect to Facebook. And we have Facebook and Instagram ad software. It's embedded in our platform. So it makes running ads incredibly easy. Okay. And you can run ads to get buyer leads or seller leads. Okay. Now we also have Google software. And when you click here, it's going to ask you to sign up. It's an add-on. It's actually a very valuable add-on. It costs $30 a month, but it makes running ads on Google incredibly easy and effective. And you want to think first about these two websites. What are they? Google is the number one website in the country. And it doesn't matter what industry we're in, it's the number one website because everybody that has a question, not everybody, but 86% of all people come to this website and ask questions related to real estate or whatever it is on their mind, right? How do I sell my home? You can see here that there's sponsored ads of people who are trying to be there. If you scroll down, you'll see some kind of SEO ads, and then you'll see more sponsored ads. So how do they get to be a sponsored place? You can go to and do this yourself on Google. And I have gone and looked at Google. It's a really messy, ugly place that most realtors are going to make mistakes running ads on, right? In our world, if you're paying us for $30, we make it incredibly easy. It's almost impossible to make a mistake on Google. Same is true for Facebook. Now, what is it that makes, Facebook so great? You may not know this, but in the United States, 70% of Americans spend 40 minutes a day scrolling through, looking at this little center newsfeed here, right? They look at all the things that they like and they see where all their friends are talking about, thinking about. They see what they're eating. They see the shows they're going to, their vacations, their grandkids, All the fun stuff is on Facebook. And that's what brings everybody's attention back here for 40 minutes every day. So if you're lobbing an ad out there and it's about a new open house or it's about new construction or whatever, you have some chance of capturing leads there. They're low cost, maybe not the highest quality, but it works. And so that's the big deal. It's like everybody's hanging out here and I'm getting something in front of people because everybody's looking at all the fun stuff on Facebook, right? But if they have a question and they really want the answer, they come to Google. All right. So that's the first thing to think about, is because it really speaks to lead quality, right? Do I have something I need an answer to? And you run an ad and you're answering that ad. That's good. That's a good high quality lead, right? But if I'm just looking around at pictures of cats and you say, hey, I've got an open house, maybe that works, maybe not. Now, that being said, I'm going to show you this video right here. Well, let's kind of run it. Let's hear what she's got to say real quick. It's only 55 seconds. I'm going to cut it off.
I'm a realtor in Northern Virginia, and I ran a listing to leads ad a few weeks ago for an open house that I had coming up. And from that $30 ad campaign, I got 3 active buyers in my immediate neighborhood from it, and 1 seller lead, which I just had a successful.
Yeah. So what she is saying is she ran one ad. It was actually for $35. She thought it was 30. And she has 3 active buyers and 1 listing in less than 7 days on a 7-day ad. So how in the world did she do that? Let's create a listing ad. We got an open house right here. So I'm going to leave it on an open house. Lead ads is what you want to do because you get pre-populated name, email, and phone number. I really think you should only be writing lead ads. You can do video stuff. I don't recommend you do traffic unless you're creating a custom landing page. We'll talk about that in a minute. But create an ad. And what I'm doing here is recreating what that lady just told you. She chose her property that had an open house saved on it, and she clicked this green button. Okay. And that created a 7-day ad for $35. And she has 3 active buyers and 1 listing when she did this in March. Okay. Now, a number of you have said, I want more listing leads. And I'm not recommending that you run open house ads to get sellers. She just happened to luck into that. So that's good, right? But that's just how she got those results, is she ran an open house ad just the way that I've done it, right? So what you can see is that on the Facebook side, you can run listing ads on homes that are for sale. You can run ads on homes that are open house, but you can also run ads on homes that are pending or sold. So if you do that, we're not looking for buyers with sold properties, and we're not looking for buyers with pending properties either. We're looking for listing leads. So this one says that home is sold. That's affected your home value. Click here for your free home value. All you have to do is click publish. Now we have a $50 ad here for 7 days. And that's because seller leads cost more than buyer leads. Typically, a seller lead on a home that's sold like this costs $7 each. So if you divide 7 into 50, I don't remember what the number is. It's maybe 7. Is that 49? I can't remember. That's how many leads you would get, right? 7 into 50. So that's how that works. It's pay-per-click every time you get a lead. Can I run on another home, not mine? Yes, Sandy. Yeah. So when you go to your listings page, now everybody has to pay attention to their local rules, their office rules, or their MLS rules. And assuming you know all your rules, you can go here and click on add listing, and you can click grab active listing. And if the home is active for sale, you can drop in the zip code and you can drop in the MLS ID and click grab, and it'll pull that listing in and it'll sit just on this list, just like we're looking at here. And then you can click market listing and you can run an ad right here, right? So we've been working in the ads page on the other section, but right here, I can also run the ad right here. So that's on a borrowed listing. You could also add a Bizbo to your account. You could add a pocket listing, or you just have your own listings that are flowing into your account. You can do that. So on running Facebook ads, we talked about how to run an ad for buyers and open house or just listed works. We talked about how to run an ad for sellers with a sold property. And I did mention that properties or leads cost $7 each when you run an ad that's sold. Let me show you the cheapest way to get a seller lead. You create a listing ad on a home that's not sold, but maybe pending or under contract. Okay. Now, I don't know what your local MLS rules are. You may not be able to do that, but the call to actions on a pending home or one that's under contract is the same thing. It's going to affect your home value, and click here to get your free home value, right? But the interesting thing about this is Facebook doesn't quite know how to price these leads. And we see these leads coming in at $2.50 each. So if you're spending $50 and they're charging you $2.50 a lead, that means you're going to get 20 leads of name, email, and phone number. You might want to try this and test it out and see if it works in your market. This is a very inexpensive and easy way to get seller. Okay. So that's just on listing marketing, right? You can also do, I'm going to skip landing pages right now. I'm going to do PDF guides. So you may not know this. There's a PDF guide section right over here on the left, and you have 80 PDF guides. There's all kinds of ways to market, but right here, we're just going to run ads. You are branded on every PDF guide. There are 40 for buyers. There are 40 for sellers. So you can decide, hey, what do I want to do today? Maybe in your market, there's a danger of overpricing your properties, right? So you could say, hey, I want to create an ad on dangers of overpricing, the 5 dangers of overpricing. And this time I actually have to take an extra step and type in the name of my town that I want to focus on. And then I click publish. Now you could expand the radius, meaning it'll do a 30-mile radius. You might live someplace where this can really have more, you got a bigger area. But we're running a PDF guide for homeowners. And Facebook, sometimes they have a wide spectrum of what they charge for these leads. Sometimes it's $10, right? So $10 into 50 means you'd get 5 leads. Sometimes it's $15 and even $20. So the thing is, you want to do the math and realize, look, I want to sell a home and I clear 5,000 a month when I sell. I don't really know the numbers. I'm just pulling them out of the air. So I'm willing to spend 1,000 to get to clear 4,000, right? So this would be one of those ways. If I'm getting $20 leads and I spend $100, I'm going to get 5 leads, right? That kind of thing. And so you do the math and say, okay, this is my investment to get that return. Know that if you're running an ad on Facebook, where you remember what I said, we're just looking at all the fun stuff. And so maybe it wasn't the highest quality lead from Facebook, but that's how you would get it. I see questions here. If you got questions, just lay them on me. Can you run an ad for a new hire? Yes, you can. We do have a recruiting platform. That is an additional $100 just to have that recruiting platform. And then you can run ads on that kind of content. What's the practice to go after pre-foreclosures? Wow, I really don't know, Johnny. What's the best practice for pre-foreclosures? I'll tell you this. Pre-foreclosures, and this sounds that is a more targeted individual, right? Like I live in Lafayette. Okay. I live in a small town and Let me just show you. Lafayette, California. Lafayette. So I live in a town that has about 24,000 people. Are there pre-foreclosures in this town? Maybe. Maybe there's 5 or 10. Who knows? Right? You don't want to use Facebook or Google. You could use Google. I wouldn't use Facebook for anything about pre-foreclosures. And by the way, if we go over to landing pages, you can create a landing page right here on avoid foreclosures. And you could say Lafayette, right? And I'm just going to show you this because you can think about these are the ways that I can approach foreclosures. But what I'm going to tell you is, I don't know if I would be using it in an ad, and I'll tell you why in just a second. There's QR codes for pre-foreclosure landing page. So now we've got a landing page and we want to get people to it, right? And that's really your question, Johnny. And we know that we've got it here for Lafayette. And we can see here that here's Lafayette. If I run an ad on that particular property, right, on that page, let me show you. Let me show you the reason why I don't recommend it. Right. Facebook only allows you to target in a 15-mile radius. That's the shortest radius. Okay. Smallest radius. So if I go to Facebook here and I say, okay, I want to create a landing page ad and I want to do it on this avoid foreclosure for Lafayette, right? Because I just created that. What happens when I get to Facebook? This is what we're doing, running an ad right now, and you should all understand this. This has applications in other kinds of areas as well, but it definitely, I'm not recommending you do this. I'm actually teaching you why not to do this. So this is Lafayette, California. Okay. That's where I'm targeting. That's where the page is. And it says 15-mile radius, right? And it says, hey, what is your home worth? Do you owe more than what it's worth? So in a way, it's if you're targeting Lafayette, and this actually doesn't target Lafayette, so it might actually be okay. But what the real issue is, even if it does target geographically, a 15-mile radius is all these people, which is a big area, right? Everybody that lives here. The ad itself doesn't speak to that. The landing page does, but that's really where the mix-up can happen. If you don't have, this where it says Lafayette, it might work for you. But the real problem with Facebook ads in general, when it comes to this kind of thing, is that you're using a shotgun. This is a metaphor, a shotgun, when you really need a rifle approach, right? So you're shooting an ad all over these people, but it's not really targeted. You don't know who's facing foreclosure. And that's where maybe creating that landing page and then using the print letter in the advanced options and mailing to those people. You might actually find a list of the people facing, right? So that's probably, I don't know if I'd recommend Facebook really for something that's that unique, right? And to give you another example, let's go to look at landing pages. You all get a new construction landing page. And it's part of your system. You can customize it. You can see here, I think I added some kind of video here. You can customize this to be about a particular development. A lot of clients just go out, they don't customize anything, and they just run an ad on this, right? And you have to think about that because it's on Facebook. When we're thinking about buyers, and that's what new construction is about, right? It's about getting buyers. The first thing that everybody is thinking when they're buying a home, you might have something different in your mind, but I think it's going to be the city, right? What city is it? I want a home in that area. And then I want to have probably the next important thing is price, right? So city and price is probably the big determining factors. Is it new or not new? I don't know. And honestly, I don't know if I care. There are, I would say, of all buyers, and I'm just pulling this out of the air, 10% of people, and that's even a high number, are thinking, oh, I want new construction. I could type in Lafayette and I still have a circumference that's going to be 15 miles. And so this is going to just target people all over the place. I'm just pointing this out because this is one of those ads where people run it and they're like, God, I really didn't get anything from this. You can run the ad, 35 bucks, should be paying around $3 a lead, but nobody was really thinking about new construction. They weren't thinking of it generally speaking. And so that doesn't quite work very well. Now, you might have, you might customize the page and you might actually go to talk to the developer, right? This is like pros and cons. It's super general. But maybe you said, hey, I've talked to the developer and they are happy to pay me if I bring a buyer. And the development's called Mayberry Home, right? And I can say, what homes starting out, whatever, right? Put in a couple things. You can customize it here and when they respond, you customize it so that when you're gathering the information, it's actually a little more direct. I think that really helps when you're doing this because sometimes you can run things like this and it doesn't quite work. Now, I want to point out the big one that doesn't work because a lot of you have said, I want more sellers. And so we got to focus on this page right here, which is free home values. Okay. And first of all, when you create a property valuation page, you want to make sure you are customizing it. I have one here for Sacramento and I click create an ad. Now, you probably don't know Sacramento. It's the capital of California. And there's a couple of rivers that flow through it. And there's this old western part of town because Sacramento became super famous when when we had the gold rush. And so there were a couple of rivers and riverboats would come up and we would move gold down to San Francisco. Cool. All kinds of history. But when you're running an ad on Facebook, this may or may not work for you very well. And I think the number one reason is that you cannot target very well with Facebook. So let's go here and type in Sacramento and you got a 15-mile radius. So let's go look at the map and see what in the world that looks like. So if I say Sacramento, California, it's up there. So a 15-mile radius means that this ad, let me zoom in a little bit. It's right in the middle there. This is going to reach out pretty far. Yeah, almost this, everything in this map, all these people in all these towns are going to see what is my Sacramento ad worth. And so if they click on it, it just doesn't get the kind of results you want. So if you want to use Facebook to get seller leads, you got to jump through an extra hoop to make this work. Okay. And so let's just point out before I show you what you need to do there. You can create listing ads for sold properties and for pending properties or under contract properties and get relatively low cost sellers. You can create PDF guide ads for sellers. There are 40 different PDF guides. Those are going to cost a little more, maybe 10 or 12 bucks each per lead, maybe even more than that. But when you run a landing page ad like that Sacramento one I was showing you, those are the most expensive seller leads for Facebook because Facebook knows that you realtors like it and they just charge the most because they know you want to do it. They don't value that lead for you. So that can be easily $15 a lead. But if you ran it the way that I just showed you, you probably wouldn't get great results. You might get great results if you're in a smaller area. And like, I'm in California, so it's a dense state. But, what if you're in Nevada? Elko, Nevada. Elko, right. Elko, Nevada is like a tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. So if you did a 15-mile radius, only the rabbits out there in that desert are going to see that, right? So now the 15-mile radius doesn't hurt me so much because I'm not overlapping all kinds of towns. And so that's where that kind of ad can work just fine. But If you're in any kind of dense area, and I know Tony here is sitting here from New Jersey because we just spoke a little while ago, then you have to take an extra step. And this one is a little bit complicated, so you need to watch, right? So if you're in a dense area, more dense than Elko, Nevada, you're going to want to buy a list of homeowners. And you can buy that list from companies like Remind or RedX, or maybe it's Constellation. I don't is it Core Logic, HomeSnap, and you can create an audience. So you get that list and you click this button where it says create an audience. And that list needs to be 1,000 leads long. You want name, email, phone number, and you can call it whatever you want to call it, right? You can call it Monmouth Homes or Homeowners. And if you do, that's going to live in your private Facebook ad manager. So even if you leave listings to leads, you're going to have this targeted list of homeowners that you bought from whoever, and you upload it here. If you're somebody who's been in the business for a while and you've got like thousands of leads in your CRM, I recommend you export those leads and you upload them here and just call them my old janky leads, right? And then once you've done that, and by the way, the format of that spreadsheet is right here. It says use this format. Your spreadsheet should look like this. And then you upload it and you import it, and it will live in your system. So do they have to have a number associated with it? They have to have at least an email address or a phone number. Ideally both, but one or the other, I think they need to have. And then when we go, let's say we create a listing ad. No, let's do the Sacramento. Let's do a landing page for Sacramento. And you know that if I go out and do just a random ad, it's going to go all over the place. But if I have a lead or if I have a list, I can click on retarget. And if I had a list in there called Sacramento Homeowners, that gray box there would work. And I could type in and I would be able to target that list of homeowners, right? If you're going to be in this business in real estate for a good while, right? Like more than 2 years. If you plan to be in this in 5 or 10 years, you should by all means be getting these lists, using them in your mailing and using them in running ads on Facebook like this, because you can look, this call is being recorded and I won't be emailing it to you, but it will be on this channel, which is our YouTube channel. Every call that we do is recorded and it's saving here. So I'm going to send this link to everybody right now. So somebody sounds like she's going to run. I'm going to send this link to everybody. This call is being recorded. It is going to be there. Trisha, you found a custom audience. Yeah, that's a very powerful way. And I want to point out, like people have earlier in the call have said, I want seller lead. And one of the most powerful ways of getting seller leads is not on ads at all. It's on one piece of paper. It's under the market listing section. So if you got a listing, click on market listing. It's called the nearby homeowner list. And you can download it. You can use our partner Express Copy to mail it for you, or you can mail it yourself. I'm just going to show it to you and give you just an idea. This isn't a site because this is not a Facebook app, but it's not a Google app. It's a piece of paper that you mail into the neighborhood. So if you've got a list of homeowners, and let's say, Trish, what town are you in? Where are you focused? If you have a list of homeowners in Cape Coral, you should be mailing a letter like this every 2 weeks to that list, because it's always going to say, hey, we just listed something or we just sold something. And by the way, that affects your home value. So all of you that want listings, you want to get this out at least once a month, or if not a couple times a month. And people will one day take this piece of paper, and if they want their home value, they're going to walk to their own computer. They're going to type in that web address, and they're going to give you their address and their email address. So you're going to know, like, they had to jump through some hoops to get that answer, right? So that is our strongest tool for getting more listings. Now, if you say, you know what, I'm going to take that same list and I'm going to create a custom audience and I'm going to run ads every time maybe not every time, but when I want to focus on sellers, maybe it's one of my PDF guide ads, right? Maybe it's right here. I could say, I want to run an ad on a PDF guide for sellers and home seller negotiation secrets, right? So I click here, I leave it on the lead ad. So I get pre-populated name, email, and phone number. And instead of typing Cape Coral up here, I click on retarget my current leads and I type in Cape Coral homeowners, right? Because I created a list. So now you're running ads on Facebook, targeting the same people that you're mailing. That's really awesome advertising, right? The best companies, they're not just throwing ads out twice a year on a random website. They are doing consistent advertising and they're doing it in multiple channels, right? Maybe they've got a bus stop sign out there. Maybe they've got an ad on the radio or whatever. Some of those things are super expensive, but you can do a mailing for a small amount of money and you can run ads for small amounts of money on Facebook. And now you're really targeting people from everywhere else, right? So that's how you make the landing pages. And frankly, I think if you're trying to get sellers, you always want to have custom audiences. You want to be targeting those homeowners over and over with the ads that are relevant to that, right? And then do some mailings and you're going to be getting there pretty well. Now, let's talk about Google because we got to ask us if somebody wants to buy a new car, if they need a new mattress, if they need to know where to get a good steak in Manhattan, it is not on Facebook. It's on Google. 86% of all questions. You can see here, I was trying to figure out how to bake a potato, right? Everything I need, I got to go here. And that question is usually something like this. How do I sell my home, right? And I'm going to share something with you in just a moment, but hey, buddy, be quiet. Here are the sponsored ads, right? So how can you get there? You go here to create a Google ad and you say, you know what? I want to do a Google ad on Sacramento, on free home valuation, and click create an ad. Okay. Now the value for you here is you can say, hey, I want to type in Sacramento and Google's going to say, okay, if somebody is sitting in Sacramento and they type in any of these keywords, your ad is going to show up. Now, you don't actually need to use our software. Our Google software is an additional $30 a month. But if you want listings, you need to definitely have a Google strategy. So if you've got a Google ad account, you can do this by hand, but when you click on advanced options, everything you see here, all these keywords, all these headlines, and these multiple descriptions, you're going to have to do manually. Okay. We do it all automatically because we're trying to make it easy for our clients. Right. And so you don't really need to worry about that. You just need to know, let's see the link. Where are we driving? We're driving into my Sacramento valuation landing page. And we're doing $50 a day. So I do want to talk about the cost of leads on Google. Seller leads cost more on Google than they do on Facebook. And our software integration is probably 3 months old. So we don't have a huge amount of data to fall back and tell you what's happening. Okay. Meaning I can tell you within the dollar what a lead costs on Facebook on average, but on Google, I don't know yet. And what I have heard is a seller lead in Western Pennsylvania costs around $22. I've heard in the Midwest, it's about $17, but I've also heard in Dallas, a seller lead costs $30 each, right? Now, the Dallas books aren't too worried about that because they're selling pretty expensive homes. So the math works out, right? You got to figure out where the math works out. And this would be something, again, if you are going to be in the listing game, you want more listings, you need to have a Google strategy. And this should be part of it because we make it incredibly easy. Just click publish. What landing page do I want to do? Publish. That's what it is. And so just to tie up a concept here, we talked about creating a custom audience in Facebook and targeting homeowners in Sacramento. We were talking about Cape Coral, right? We got a mailing list that we're mailing these people every month or twice a month. So they're getting familiar with your brand and that you can offer a free home value. And if somebody is sitting in Cape Coral and you've got a Cape Coral landing page, you're going to answer them there as well. These are three major areas to take advantage of. And by the way, just since we're talking about it, you can take a landing page like I didn't make one for Cape Coral, I did, but you can go here and click edit and tools on any landing page that you got and click advanced options and QR code and embed. Oh, here's the e-flyer, right? So this is a report that you can customize and it's got links to get your free home value. So if you're sitting on a bunch of leads in Cape Coral and Trish, I'm hoping you do have some leads because you work there. You should probably be blasting this out on people once a month. It's a monthly report. You do want to customize, like, hey, you know what? We got 20 homes sold and the high is here and blah, blah, blah. And then you copy this and you blast it out on your CRM. Do you recommend custom audience for past customers? Yes, I do. If you're somebody like Trish, how many leads do you have in your CRM? And I guess customers is different. So you have 2,000 leads in your CRM. That should be exported and put in as a custom audience. Then just call them my dusty leads or my old leads. And okay, I need to do that. I need to make sure and keep in touch with those people because they're not all reading every one of your emails, but they're going to keep seeing that you're selling homes. And that's really what you want to do. Is there a percentage you take of the budget from advertising management? No. So that's a good question. So there are a lot of companies out there, cool ones like I think KB Core and Y Lobo and Brevity and all these cool companies that we know of, that when you're running an ad on Facebook or on Google, they're taking a percentage of your ad money, right? And it's usually like 30%, 20 to 30% of your money. So if you're spending 150, 50 is going to Y Lobo and the 100 goes to your ad. We don't do any of that. When you see that you're creating an ad budget and you say, hey, I want to do a landing page ad on free home values and I create it, what it's doing is it's saying, let's just look at it real quickly. We'll look at it. It's saying, we're going to charge $50 on your credit card in your Facebook account. We're not taking any percentage of that. Okay. There is a cost, obviously, for listings to leads. It's $60 a month. If you're using our Google software, it's $30 a month, but there's no percentage that we're shaving off of your ad budget, which is why generating leads with our platform is super easy or low cost. How does Facebook and Google handle algorithms for us placing through L2L doing ad manager? Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think we're smart enough to deal with algorithms. We just don't have that. Yeah. What I can tell you, Trish, is our clients are getting leads that are actionable. Okay. I don't even know what the algorithms on Google are, and I know that they change. But if you go look at our fancy YouTube channel here and you go listen to these people on our homepage who are doing testimonials, almost all of them are generating leads and they are getting business from those leads. So yeah, I don't know about algorithms. I also don't know about AI. I know a little bit about AI, but we look at AI. If we can figure that there's a reason that we need to be embedding it in our system, we will, but we don't actually see it. What we're doing is creating content that captures leads and making it easily available to our real estate clients. And if you're using these tools, you're going to get leads that some are going to turn into business. Yeah, I would use this more. Yeah. So I can just tell you, we have clients go from like rookie to stars. I've had people moving from out of one state to another and becoming lead listing agent and starting their own offices. Martin, I'm sorry, but there is no way to get a instant valuation in Canada because they have more privacy rights than the US. And so you can't even get that data. But you can customize the landing page to just ask, give us your address and we'll get you the information, right? So you're going to have to get comps and do it a more old fashioned way. So it still works, and certainly running ads. And I think you have a post service up in Canada. So a lot of things still work, but just that instant valuation doesn't work in Canada. And also text codes don't work up there. And we didn't talk about that because it's not really related, but we do have text IVR, which means instant voice reaction. You can sign up for that. It's $10. You get 10 codes. They live with you. But we have to work with each of the phone carriers in whatever country you are in. And we really only work with phone carriers in the United States because it's not an easy process. So where are we? What did we forget about ads? And let me ask, are there any questions for anybody here in case do we need to look at anything? So we talked about Facebook. We talked about Google. Oh, I want to share something with you. Now, remember I said that you don't have to use the Google software. You could go create the landing page for Cape Coral or for Sacramento or any of your favorite towns. But when you go to the Google Ad Manager, you're going to have to do that. All of those fields, all of those things you have to do yourself. Now, I'm sending this article to you right now. And you need to look at this article because if you want to be in the business, do know that Google is the number one website in the country, right? And this is telling you the top words that people are searching on. Okay. And if you start at the top here, and it does say 2022, but actually these guys update they update this report. So this is actually current as of February 2023, and they go back and refresh it. These are the top search terms for buyers on Google. Okay. If you scroll down, these are the top search words, keywords for sellers. And if you're going to do it yourself and save that $30, hold on to this article. Right. And also just know it for just generally, this is how people think. This is how your target market thinks. If you're using our ad software, I've already told the tech team to refresh our Google ads. So if you're running an ad for sellers, they've already done the work, right? We say, hey, I want to do whatever, I'm going to do ultimate guide, right? And I'm using Google. You do have to type in the name of the town, right? But all those keywords that I shared with you on that article, we've already embedded them. And also from a couple of other articles that we use to make sure that these things work, right? Did I talk about pre-foreclosure leads? I did, Johnny. Yeah, that's why you're going to have to watch the recording because I'm not going back to that. So the valuation ad automatically sends evaluation. Right, Trish. Yeah. In this case, if we've got a Cape Coral landing page, this one is, I guess you asked that question earlier, Trish. The instant home valuation page will basically, if you go here, you drop in your address and your email address, we're going to give you an instant home valuation if you're in the US. Okay. And then you don't need to do anything. You will get emailed with that information, right? So let's see. Back on ads. We talked about Google ads. So we know now that we can run PDF guide ads, and we've got 80. We know that we can do landing page ads. Now you can create custom ads, and If you don't know how to work with Google, I don't even recommend doing this. It's just, it's not fun. But that's just that. There's also another kind of ad here, which it's called create an IDX ad. So this is for buyers, right? So we know here from this list that one of the whole top searches, 102 million searches last month, is houses sold near me. So let's go type in homes sold. What homes are sale? Walnut Creek, right? That's right next to me. So let's go here. Who's advertising? Toll Brothers. You know these guys, right? Realestateagents.com. I don't even know what that is. Ramsey. So Dave Ramsey here. I wonder if they know Dave Ramsey. I don't want to click on it because I'm actually going to use some of his money. That's what it is. But these people are paying for these keywords, homes for sale in Walnut Creek. And they've got some sort of solution. Toll Brothers is basically pointing you to their website where you can search all their California homes. I don't know what Vincent Rossi is doing over here. You get it. You're going to drive them to a page. And from here, if you create an IDX ad, I would recommend this. You can do it. I don't really like this, but let's just say it's in West Palm Beach. You got a home. It doesn't even reflect it's just a dumb way of starting, frankly. That's just telling us we're going to focus on West Palm Beach. And you go grab a link from your property search page, right? Now, I spoke to Tony earlier today, and he was saying, yeah, I want to run ads and send people to my website, right? So you just put in the link to your website and you publish, and that's what it would do. I really only recommend this though. And this is for everybody on the call. This is Nadia Home. So let's go copy it and go look at Nadia's. I don't even remember. Speaking of Nadia, but let's go look. Right. So this is LPT. Yeah. This is a website that I don't know really the answer, but let's just type in Cape Coral, right? And it's going to show me all the properties. Now, in this case, I would only do a search like this, meaning I'm going to run an ad and pay for keywords if this website is going to force me to register at some point. Not necessarily when I click on the first property, but maybe on the third or fifth or 10th property, like your website's going to say, hey, please register to continue. If you don't have that, I don't recommend running ads to get people to your website at all. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm saying. But over here, there's a button that says next. So I can look at this property and go, oh, I don't like it. Next. And at some point, if this website doesn't ask me to register, I would not be running ads to drive traffic to this page. I hope everybody understands that. But if it does, and let me tell you, like there are great sites like Boomtown, Real Geeks, all kinds of sites that will show you a few properties and say you got to register. Like I'm sure you guys have heard of Boomtown. It's the most expensive website in the country that I'm aware of. But 1 out of 10 people that land there register, right? So that would be worthwhile to be spending ad dollars to drive people to my website because they're going to register and then that website is kind of sticky and it's some of the things and all kinds of fun things, right? But you can do that kind of ad on Google. That's not the big thing for me. If you want listings, you need to definitely be thinking of Google. That's what I got to tell you. Facebook, awesome for buyer leads. You can still get good seller leads as well, but it's maybe not as high as quality, but also not as expensive. So I do want to remind you that to get seller leads from Facebook, I really recommend that you have custom audiences. And those kinds of lists you got to buy from other people. I do think we're talking about trying to get those lists somehow embedded in our system so that you can just download them here and pay some company to get that data, but we're not there yet. We just know that's valuable to our clients. So these are the kinds of ads that you can run with Facebook, right? And you can create unlimited landing pages. You can customize those landing pages. You can borrow listings if you don't have your own listings. And that's a very fast, easy way of getting buyer leads. And Google it's there, right? It's the number one website in the country. If you're going to be in this industry, it doesn't matter what industry, frankly, you're going to be in. Google, you need to have a Google strategy. So, any other questions? I don't see any, but I do want to thank you for the questions that I've had so far. I think it helps everybody when you're asking because sometimes I just say the same things over. But I don't see any here. This call has been recorded. It will be on the mastermind group and it will be on our YouTube channel. And everybody should have a link to the YouTube channel now. And if not, I'm going to resend it. It's always on our videos page. So go check out the videos page and do that. That's it. I don't see any more questions. So everybody, thanks so much. I hope you have a great summer. Get on our calls. Really get on this YouTube channel. And I can't stress enough that the more time you invest to understand how to unlock the value here, the better off it's going to be for your business. If you want your business to grow, we have so many ways to help you there. You're welcome, Trish. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.